I live in the South. Everybody's got to have a cowboy hat.
Oh my God.
USC fans, yeehaw! Alex Grinch is fired. Yeehaw!
Are you LSU loses, and I think you've officially lost it.
Yeah, but, hey man, Alex Grinch is getting his buyout money. Yeehaw!
We got to get you a bigger pair of headphones so you can fit them over the.
Well, I'm wearing this for Lincoln. You know, he's from the state of Texas.
Is he actually?
Yeah, he's from the state of Texas, and he doesn't even know how to cook brisket.
Which is so goddamn funny. It's
So funny.
One of the funniest.
How can you be from West Texas and not know how to cook brisket? All right.
He doesn't know how to coach either.
Can I take my cowboy hat off here?
Yeah, you can take it.
All right. Finally, the cowboy known as Lincoln Riley made the move and fired Alex Grinch. Joe, you said it perfectly in your tweet. The worst team in the Pac-12 at running the football was the Washington Huskies. And my God bless it, Dylan Johnson had 26 carries, 256 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Michael Penix wasn't even that good. Look, and here's
he still played. He still played a really good game. He just had that one tipped pick.
Okay, I'm going to be very petty here. Can I be very petty?
No,
okay,
because you don't let me be petty.
Jaden Daniels had more yards in the first half versus Alabama and more touchdowns than Michael Penix Jr. had in the entire game versus the worst defense in the Pac-12.
Because he didn't need to do everything. He didn't need to do anything. Dylan Johnson did all. It was a tipped pick. It was a tipped pick in the red zone.
Jaden Daniels's.
I didn't give Jaden Daniels a hard time for his pick. Sorry, let's just not do this.
Nevertheless, Washington is not a all-around good football team. Are they arguably one of the best? Joe, they gave up 40-plus points.
To one of the best offenses in the country. That shouldn't be surprising that they gave up them
against Notre Dame. How did that offense look against Utah?
That they still put up points on the board against Utah. Okay, so they still put up points on the board and they still played fine against Utah. The Notre Dame game, yes, is an exception because Notre Dame's defense was just that good. Notre Dame's defense was the hottest that they've played all season. It's one of the Okay, we're going to go down a rabbit hole trying to compare all these games. My point is that you've got one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country built with an offense of multiple elite receivers. It's not surprising that they put up that many points. We knew that this game was going to be a shootout. And what I have said since the beginning of the season, all the way throughout every single one of these weeks, is that what makes Washington great is how quickly they can score in an instant, how dominant and explosive they are offensively. They can find Rome Odunze for a 20-plus yard gain or Jalen Polk or Jalen McMillan when he's back on any given play. It's just always there at some point. I trust that in a series, maybe the first 2 plays don't work. They're going to find somebody. They are one of the most unstoppable passing attacks in college football. I get they played against USC. We don't need to pat them on the head for playing this well against USC. But they can and will play the game of outscoring opponents and continue to succeed at it.
I just don't think that they can't rely on that against the top teams in the country. Again, I don't think that so in order, okay, as a complete team, I don't think that they are better than Bama. I don't think that they're better than Georgia. I don't think that they're better than Ohio State. I don't think they're better than Michigan. I don't think they're better than Texas. Like, I don't, Joe. I look at them and say that you're too flawed on one side of the football for me to say that you're a complete team. Offense, that's great. But what if a Georgia team, a Texas team, an Alabama team can shut that offense down enough? That defense is just going to they're going to make Milroe look good, like LSU did. My bottom line is this. It's more indication to me, though, like you mentioned, about how bad it is at USC. It is so bad that you got Joe, they got run all over. They hadn't been able to do that on anybody. Now they fire Alex Grinch. Good on them. Good. This
took way too long.
Way too long. Now, I don't know if there's some buyout things, some contract things that we're not privy to, but it took them too long. Good on Lincoln. Good on Lincoln. they got to hire somebody and get somebody in there that maybe isn't a fantastic play caller, but can recruit their asses off.
Wait, I don't think recruiting is the issue, though. I think that the issue has been the scheme and the coaching.
Seen that front seven?
I mean, they were able to go get Bear Alexander. They brought in some big
Bear
name
Alexander's
recruits.
a miss.
Yeah, that's actually, I don't disagree. But okay, my point is that they have had one of the more talented defensive groups in the country, not like top five.
I do not care about what the star rating is. Somebody that recruit isn't just somebody that can get the commitment. It is somebody that can evaluate, recruit, get the commitment, and develop.
Okay. Well, the development part is what I'm getting at here, is that there clearly has not been any development. There really hasn't. One thing I just want to resurface and bring up here. I remember back in week 0 when you and I talked about not saying that they needed to fire Alex Grinch. It was a little deeper than that. How we said that defensively, it looked like they didn't give a shit. It looked like they were giving a half effort, and everybody rushed to their defense. Everyone rushed to say,
yeah, we got obliterated in that video.
It's week 0. How could you criticize them? It's against San Jose State. They're still figuring stuff out. It's going to be fine. And on a week-to-week basis, that team on defense has not given a shit. And some of that is leaking on to the offensive side of the football. We criticized Lincoln Riley for the way that he has prepared this team, and I'm going to continue to do it. He should have fired Alex Grinch a while ago, and I continue to point the blame at him for the quality of play happening on the field. This is a half-assed football team filled with superstars that should be undefeated at this point if it actually played to its true potential. It is a pathetic product that we get on a week-to-week basis because Lincoln Riley is so goddamn overrated.
So look, I will get back to Washington in just a minute because we do need to talk about the winner here and what it means for Washington. Okay.
Actually, to be perfectly clear before you get to your point, I actually don't think we need to really talk much about Washington. And I know that might upset some Washington fans. I'm your biggest supporter, guys.
I'm gonna talk about them.
Okay.
All right.
My perspective has not changed on them, but what were you gonna say?
My whole thing is, or what I was trying to say, you should not be allowing these dudes that are in your region or guys that are in Vegas, dudes that are in LA. Those kids cannot be going elsewhere.
Kayvon Thibodeau's perfect example.
Kayvon Thibodeau is a perfect example.
That was pre-Lincoln Riley.
I get, but people understand your point. Like those kind of dudes can't go elsewhere. Lincoln has to. He doesn't have to call the offense for the offense to be dynamic. He's got to figure out on being a head coach. He's got to help recruit on the defensive side. If he gives a shit, like Joe, if he gives a shit and actually wants to win, he's got to grow up a little. He's got to become a head coach. We have waited too long for this to happen to Lincoln multiple seasons on end. Like, you got to be a head coach. You're not just an offensive guy. But you know that karma is they call karma a B word, a bitch. They call karma a bitch, right?
Mm.
Remember last year when Max Duggan was crying after a loss?
I'm glad you're bringing this up. I was going to bring this up.
Caleb Williams quote tweeted it and said LOL, then retracted it and said, I love Max. I was just saying LOL about somebody actually posting that. That's not true. Joe, we had an interaction with Caleb Williams when we called him out for worrying more about his nails than worrying about football. He said, well, it's my mom's business. Okay, he comes out and says, sounds good. But you can do something with your fingernails. I don't care about that. You're writing F Utah on them. You're a distraction. Then he runs over to the sidelines to what I'm assuming is his family and his mom, maybe. I don't know who it was. And he's crying. He jumps up in there. He's in somebody's arms. I don't know who it is. And he's crying. It was his
mom.
Okay. I don't have a problem with him being that emotional. I'm actually, to be real with you, I'm actually glad he showed some emotion that they lost, right? Like it shows me that you actually do give a shit. But if people will not receive it that way because of what he did to Max Duggan.
First of all, to the people who I defend's not the right word. There's this weird group of people that whenever you criticize Caleb Williams' behavior, they all rush to criticize you for nitpicking the kid. But
they do.
When he acts the way that he does, and he doesn't do anything overtly inappropriate. You know, it's not like he's done something that is
putting your nails on saying F Utah is highly inappropriate.
Let me rephrase. It's not like he has done something illegal. It's not like he has done something
fair,
just reprehensible, but he acts incredibly immature and he does have inappropriate actions. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It is so goddamn ridiculous and hypocritical that he did that to Max Duggan last year, backtracked like he did, deleting it, trying to provide an excuse. And then for him to be crying because his draft stock might be going down and his Heisman chances are done and winning the Pac-12 is done. I don't know why he was crying. But for him to do that and to act like that way towards a peer, somebody who was in the Heisman podium with him, is so goddamn hypocritical. I think that his behavior is beyond pathetic at this point.
I will give him this. It did show me, but see, I question the motive. Was it real? You know, like, were you actually that upset that what were you upset about?
I think he was.
But what were you upset about? Were you upset that you didn't win it or that your team didn't win it? Are you upset that because it affected you, or are you upset that it affected the entire team? They ask him in the post game what he's going to do. He goes, I'm going to go cuddle with my dog and play video games.
Watch shows
whatever he said. It comes off that it's all about I know that you don't like country, but some people do. It's like the Toby Keith song. Want to talk about me, want to talk about want to talk about number one, oh my, me, my. That's his song. If he were a country song, I came out with a cowboy hat, it'd be the Toby Keith song, want to talk about me. Okay? It feels like it's always about him.
But we're not allowed to criticize him, Blake, though. We're not allowed to criticize him according to the general public. We're not allowed to point that out. It's wrong to point that out. Apparently.
I don't care what people say about me.
Right, that's what I'm getting
at all the time. Yeah. The problem is, Joe, we had an interaction with him, okay, when he's liking tweets because somebody asked me if I would have had and this was something that I got into it with Lindell White, a former running back at USC. We're both on I think they're still Believe. He
does the USC show.
Okay. So me and Lindell White are going punch for punch, back for back, and he's saying, you know, this is the USC way. And I'm like, painting your fingernails and saying Utah is the way, and he's liking the tweets. He's interacting with Lindell White on it because Lindell's defending him. You don't get involved in that stuff. That's why people go out there and defend you. That's all I'm going to say on it. I think it's always about him, but I am glad that he showed a little bit of emotion. One more thing on Washington because we got to move quickly here.
Yeah.
One more thing.
We didn't make it very far.
Huh?
I said we didn't make it very far. Sorry, continue.
I thought we made it really far, to be honest with you.
Well, what I mean by is that we only made it through 3 games. I thought we were going to get to whatever. I'm being stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing on Washington, we can move on. I do continue to question them defensively. I don't think they beat Oregon again. I think Oregon beats them, and then we have a 2-team potential race of 2 teams getting the playoff from the Pac.